And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is up with it? Welcome to Melee It On Me Season 4, Episode 1, entitled The Platinum Age. I'm your host, Scar. I haven't been here for a long time, but I'm a married man now. Everybody in the chat. Not everybody in the chat. Everybody on the call went, I think.
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yep. That is a fact.
Yeah.
These are the
Indeed.
true homies.
It was sick.
Yep.
It's a juggle fact.
We're here talking about Super Smash Bros. Melee. Before we start, I haven't talked to any of you in a while. Sheridan, how's it going, man? How have the past 2 months been for you?
Pretty good, man. I think the job situation will be hopefully finalized in the next, I want to say, 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll give you guys an update when I know what's up.
What are your prospects again? Can you go over that?
Where are you gonna be? NorCal?
NorCal. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, cool.
It'll be a surprise.
All right.
Cool. Good for you, Sheridan. What about in terms of Melee? So, okay, there's a lot of people at Twitch who play Melee now, and one of the up-and-comers said that, my buddy Golf told me a story that this guy Brandon went to one of the NorCal bar things. What are they called?
Oh, the Foundry.
Yeah,
even
Foundry.
I went to one of those.
He went to the Foundry, and one of my buddies was like, "Dude, I played a Melee It On Me guy, Sheridan, and I got destroyed." So you rested somebody like a million times.
Someone bought me and Sheridan a drink at the Foundry when I went that Tuesday. I think his name was Charles, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was
shout outs to him.
Shout outs, dude. NorCal's pretty sick right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's up for Melee, Sheridan?
Well, what's up for Melee is this weekend we're running a triple elimination bracket.
No, we're not.
We are.
Wait, where?
Oh, yeah.
San Carlos.
Where's San Carlos? All right, maybe I'll go.
All right.
Maybe me and Toph will warm
up. And then I'm gonna make a post about it after it's over to let everybody know how it went. So that'll be up on the MIOM blog, hopefully.
I've seen the theory behind it, and I approve. The execution's another thing, though.
Yes.
For everyone who doesn't know, Sheridan just mentioned the Melee It On Me blog. Head on over to meleeiton.me, and you'll find a ton of really interesting content. Tafikin, Sheridan, etc. are doing a lot of hard work, having really great content up there. Prog's posted a bunch of times.
Joe has been posting.
Wife posted? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
you need to read this blog. Well, this website. meleeiton.me or meleeitonme.com. It'll redirect you. Tafikins, what's up with it, dude?
Doing well. Glad it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday.
Ask you how you're doing. I asked you what was up.
Many things, I guess.
All right, good, better answer.
Damn.
What are some of those things? Sorry that I.
Tomorrow's Friday, and working on some cool little.
Where's our producer? Where's John? Can we get some? It's Friday.
No, dude. If John was here, we would have been up with this show half an hour ago.
Yeah, but you pulled it out for the Midwest.
Finally.
Anyway, tomorrow's Friday. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, it's okay. And I'm working on some secret side project stuff that I hope will come into fruition pre-Evo.
Fantastic. Yes. I can't wait to see it.
So yeah, that's me.
Nice.
Sick with it. Joe Guy, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Got the Arcadian in Michigan. We copied NorCal and SoCal coming up
that's
on
right.
Saturday.
When is that?
When's that? This weekend?
Saturday, yeah, 2 days from now. Pretty excited for that. I'm going to help TO and just hang out and finally have a tournament where I don't enter and just kind of chill. I've always considered
what's your expected turnout?
Dude, I don't know. It could be anywhere from 60 to 100, honestly. I'm not sure. What Arian told me is whatever you expect for the Arcadian, double that. Because people come out of nowhere if you market it correctly. Yeah, it's got a lot of Facebook event interest. We'll see how many show up. But yeah, it'll be good to not enter and just chill for once.
Cool.
Good for you, Rob. It's a dream come true. I think I have a commentator dream of going to a tournament and only commentating.
Doing a
Like when
wobbles
you
at Big
watch
House.
Ultra David, when you
Mhm.
watch Ultra David and James Chen,
Yeah,
like they
those
go to the
guys.
tournament, they put on their suit and tie, and they sit at the booth and they sit there all day.
Mhm.
But do you
I
want
think
to
that's
really
actually,
commentate like every single match? Aren't you gonna get tired of that?
yeah, I think that like I don't know, it's a little bit like I don't want to say egotistical, but like I don't know, it's getting all the fun and none of the grunt work of just saying like you guys do everything and I'll do the fun matches. I'll do top 8, right, and I'll do like
Right.
the high profile matches. That's
Mhm.
like kind of lame, but it's like I don't know. I think it's actually pretty reasonable right now in Melee when there's so many people who want to commentate. Like, it's really cool to give other people a shot at doing it. That said, I think that sometimes like watching like the noobs play and talking about how they're good at stuff, like I enjoy doing that. Sometimes I watch commentators and like when it's bad play, objectively, they're like, "Oh, these guys suck." And then those people will go back and watch the matches and feel horrible. So like I
Yeah,
always
I
try
don't
to
understand that.
I always try
That's
to throw them like, oh, these guys, they're doing good stuff here. I see the idea, I appreciate that. If he goes home and practices this thing in his room, this guy's going to be amazing.
well, but all these not just like these guys suck is not just good commentary, irrespective of that fact, right?
Mhm.
It's not constructive. It
Yeah.
doesn't illustrate anything that's happening on the screen.
Mhm.
Well, definitely more on that coming up. I talked to the Melee Army guys, and commentary is something that I'm very passionate about and that I definitely want to try and figure out, make it a little bit better. Oh, dude, does anybody want to hear? Sheridan, you ready to rate an idea 1 to 10? This is going to be the first time we've done this segment in like a long time. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's say this weekend at the NorCal tournament, if we streamed it, we should engage Twitter and have a hashtag, like hashtag constructive commentary. And you can leave tweets about the commentary, but it can't be dumb stuff. You can't say these commentators suck. You have to hashtag a constructive commentary. And it's going to be like a movement. And then the commentators can go back and look at what, if it was the next episode, it would be hashtag TNE, hashtag constructive commentary.
How does it fit into, like, where do they leave these hashtags?
I asked the wrong guy. Dude, so like Twitter, you can search hashtags. So you put it in your tweet and like Twitter finds them.
But okay, yeah, I understand that, but how do you associate that with, a particular moment or match?
So I think as a commentator, you generally get this feedback anyway, and like it doesn't associate with a particular moment. So you have to like call out the moment. You have to be like, oh, this guy is being informative right now, or like, good work on your Sheik matchup knowledge. Hashtag constructive commentary. Or, you suck because you keep talking about yourself.
Uh-huh.
At Sephiroth Ken. Kidding, Ken. Hashtag constructive commentary. So at least that's constructive.
Right.
Scar, you suck because you interrupt people too much. Hashtag constructive commentary.
Used to be.
Come on, 9 out of 10 idea right there.
Yeah.
We're going to try it. I don't care what you say.
Okay.
Albert Moi, I get a 6.
6 is
6 is pretty solid there.
Yeah, 6. I'll give it a 6. Remember, we're talking about the whole spectrum of ideas that's ever existed.
We are. Like fly as an idea. Whoever came up with fly, I'm being judged against that.
Right. Exactly. All right.
Anyway, moving on. I'm doing fine. I didn't talk about myself. I'm doing great. I've been off for a while. You haven't seen me in a while. But coming back to work, I'm pretty busy. That happens when you don't answer email for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But the show must go on. PSAs. Who's leading this? Me?
Sure.
Yeah.
Just the easiest one.
Announce this as loudly as possible.
I'm going to. Everybody, I want you to know this fact. Hopefully you're listening. Number 1, Evo passes. If you don't get them before April 14th, you're going to have to pay $20 more. It is super easy to register for any of these tournaments. You type in Evo 2014. You click the first link, and then it will say register somewhere. Actually, I'm like looking at it, and I don't see register. Oh, register online. Similarly, CEO in Florida. If you don't buy your ticket by 2 days ago,
that sucks.
The pass is $10. So if it's $45 right now, I'm also going to be at CEO. I will sign your copy of Melee if you want.
You're going to the Triple Crown this summer?
Wow.
I'm going to Evo, CEO, NCR, and MLG.
Fantastic.
Also, MLG is raising prices on April 14th.
Oh, we just got a new subscriber, bros.
Oh, stop
Blue Falcon 7.
Blue
Stuff
Falcon
with
7. Welcome your. I was just. Welcome your family.
Yo, Bobby, didn't you use Blue Falcon for a little while back in the day?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
for a
makes you
little
change
while.
colors? I don't understand. Like every other Falcon
Okay.
main sticks to a color, but you change from like
Okay.
color to
So,
color to
I was
color.
born as a Dark Reign fan. And so
Okay.
I was Black Falcon, period. End of story.
Okay.
And then at some point in my life, like I realized it was like right before I Kill Mufasa came out that I don't play like Dark Reign. I'm not the Dark Knight. I'm not like gloomy. You know, his playstyle is like serious. Like there's something really bothering him, and he's beating you up to like make himself feel better about things. And I identify more with White Falcon because like what I do, I just want like I want to be like, hey, look at me. You know, I'm like flashy. I'm kicking you across the stage, electrocuting people. So then White Falcon like identifies me. What's the name for him? Like Captain Fabulous.
I don't know. I always
White-
associated that costume with like peppermint stick ice cream.
That's
I
the
always
first
called him
time I've heard
Peppermint
someone say
Falco.
White Falcon, though.
Yeah, it's always
It's
pink.
it's pink superhero Falcon to me.
Yeah. And then at some point, I decided that like I wanted to be a little bit more serious than all that, and that's I think when Isaiah Falcon came out, because I thought that Default was cool, right? It like doesn't have all of the like baggage of Dark Reign, and like, but it's still serious.
Yeah.
I never did Red because Red's lame.
Only
It's also
JP can do
retired.
red. He's the only
It's
one in
also
the world.
retired. Well, Westballs does Red, but he's
Oh
a
yeah, that's
fraud.
true. No, he got a
Never
he got a
actually-
sacred combo, so we can like
Nope, he didn't.
officially.
It does not combo. The combo counter and trading bow would have said 1.
Okay, but like if Zelda Freak had done anything else, he would have died. So I consider
Yeah,
that.
I understand that, but that's not a combo in this game.
Ah, okay, all right.
Well, you want to
It's not a combo.
if you want
It's
if
not-
you want to stretch that, no. If you want to stretch that, you can SDI with superhuman possibilities,
No,
and
I'm
then nothing's a
saying
combo.
SDI,
That's true.
The 2 hits did not combo.
What he's saying is that he's not in hit stun anymore.
Yeah, I understand
Okay,
that,
yeah.
but
Zelda
I
Freak
think
says, "What if I shine at the exact moment?" That is right, Zelda Freak.
Oh yeah, he's in this chat.
yeah. Well,
Zelda
whatever.
Freak, you got
I
fake
still
sacred-
think, but that's like it's kind of like saying that up throw up air on Peach with Fox. There's like nothing Peach can do, even if she's out of hit stun. Her double jump sucks to get out of that. Like all she can do is just like try to freaking, air dodge or something.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
it's a pseudo combo. It's good enough.
Anyway,
It's good enough. It
and
works
I
in the
think-
metagame.
I think blue was because of the lean cover. Blue. Period. And now I play either blue Oscar or default nothing. All right,
Word.
question answered.
Cool.
So those are the 3 big tournaments that we want you to be paying attention to. Also, if you're anywhere near the NorCal area, NorCal Regionals comes not this weekend, but next weekend. And
That's
that is
right.
a big deal. So we have like a long list of really awesome tournaments that are coming up. So, and if you want to, maybe if you tune in to, I think it's going to be Team Spooky. No? Who
I
does it?
play winner.
Yeah, I play winner.
Yeah, it's Chris
Maybe if you tune
Seglias.
into I Play Winner, you'll see me playing Street Fighter. If I don't lose.
Boo.
So the first tournament, I went 0-2. Oh, shit!
Shivy Pod.
Welcome to the family, Shivy Pod.
I know Shibi Pod. I'll see him on Saturday.
Hype.
Is that a Pokemon?
I wouldn't
No.
know. Just like
Sup with
Sheridan.
it. Sup
Yeah.
with
Me
it.
asking you a Twitter question is like you asking me a Pokemon question. Think of it like that.
Okay. Well,
I didn't
okay.
know who Greninja was.
I did not either.
I'm
but
sorry.
I, mean,
I just did
I
not.
could-
I feel so either out of touch or old or both. I didn't know who he
Yeah.
was.
I mean, I could have just by looking at him, I could have surmised that he was a Pokemon and a new one, but that was just a guess at that point.
There's a whole stream chat judging us right now, Sheridan.
Yeah. Well, they can suck one.
Nintendo Direct. Our
Hmm.
next topic is a really big one. Nintendo had a Smash-specific like conference called
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct. It happened a few days ago.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I've watched the whole thing through twice, and there are a million things we can say about it. So we have to prune this discussion down to
Yeah.
the most important observations.
Did
So
anyone
actually,
see?
you guys know what I can and can't. So I watched Nintendo Direct, but I don't feel like prepared to talk about it. Do you want to talk about the monitors? And then unfortunately, I actually have to dip out.
All right.
Did
Does
anyone
that sound?
see D1's
Or do you
video?
want me to dip out now?
No, you should stay for a topic at least.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the monitors.
Till Toph
I'm
gets
sorry
here.
I introduced Nintendo Direct.
All right, we'll get back to that.
Topic number 1. For a while now, we've been talking about these monitors, using monitors. What's going on, man? Are we going to use monitors or are we going to use CRTs? There are serious questions about whether or not we can do it, especially on stream, and for very good reasons. As most of us know, if you watch any other fighting games or esports, lots of players and tournaments are sponsored by BenQ. I forget who else. Like I think Asus does some.
Yeah.
So monitors are something that people are trying to sell, unlike CRTs. I think that I don't think anybody's trying to sell like Mitsubishi CRTs anymore.
There's one CRT manufacturer in the world left, and
Who is
Wow.
it?
it's some company named Hayer or Hayer something.
HAIER.
Yes, three straight vowels. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sounds like higher.
Higher. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, on that topic, the first thing I would suggest you do if you want to learn more about how this affects gameplay is going over to Melee or Meleon.me and read Fizzy's excellent article about his testing with regard to various setups of these monitors and how much lag they introduce, and also more importantly, how much does this lag affect gameplay, right? I mean, we can all talk about 5 milliseconds or 10 milliseconds, but what does that really mean in terms of how much is it going to change my ability to execute things in game? And he's got a nice section there about what you can expect, what kind of results you can expect for different amounts of lag. Yeah. And so he's got and a nice table about which setups have more lag and which setups have less lag. So head on over there and check that article out after the show. For sure.
Like one thing I think we should clear up is, especially with the whole CRT thread on the Facebook group, I don't think anybody is expecting a whole generation of Smashers to just convert overnight to these monitor setups. Like at Smash Fest, I don't think it's ever going to be feasible that people have these just because they cost a lot of money and it's a lot of effort to set up. But at tournaments where somebody like Mr. Wizard wants a guaranteed, say, like 30 setups, they have those Asus monitors or BenQ, I can't remember which one, but
yeah,
they have those monitors already, so it's a matter of guaranteed setups. You don't want that uncertainty involved with Smashers bringing their own setups. That's always kind of something that we lean on as grassroots TOs, but someone like Mr. Wizard, when he's throwing a giant tournament with sponsors and money involved, he does not want to do that. I totally understand that. So I think it's really worth our time to look at whether this is viable in terms of gameplay, and if it is, really having an open mind with a company like Evo or MLG saying, hey, you guys are going to use the monitors for the tournament setups, just deal with it.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're going to get some in-person testing on that this weekend. Are you going to go to that tournament, Tafikins?
Yeah, I am.
So can you tell us about that?
So it's going to be a normal Super Smash Sundays in SoCal, and Mr. Wizard is going to bring a full setup for us to try.
Nice.
Mr. Wizard's going to Super Smash Sunday?
Nice.
Yes, he's going to come this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
Remember at LANhammer back in August, Bobby, you said...
No, I forgot LANhammer.
Well, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember?
Everyone was fine with that setup
except
Zoo.
Except
Zoo and Silent Wolf.
Yeah.
And was that because it was set up not correctly or what?
Yeah, so day one, unfortunately, and I think that Eric Lee corrected this. So here's the full story, and it's a smash confession, hashtag it. The full story is that on day one, it took me a million years to set everything up because it was my first time actually doing a dual commentary stream, and it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
On a laptop, and it was just a big pain. The venue is too small, etc. And so we set this up as the first tournament that we've done in real monitor. And in my haste, I did not set the Wii to full screen. I set it to widescreen. And so there really was it did look very weird. The characters are kind of stretched out, and as you move left and right, it's further than it should be on a full screen display. So I remember Eric Lee was like, dude, you have to fix this or whatever. And I was in TO mode, and me in TO mode plus like hungry and stressed, I just looked at him like, if you touch that Wii, I will kill you. And so I think that he left for a little while and then just came back and fixed it. And I remember as soon as I saw him reset the Wii, I was like, oh, I hate you. And then he did it, and it was way better the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I felt really bad about overreacting because he was right. But anyway, I think that Silent Wolf and Zoo and others played on a day one and determined that they didn't like it because of whatever reason. And then day two, when it was actually in full screen, they didn't play. So.
Well, both of them still asked to play on
CRTs.
off that TV.
Yeah.
And
I don't know that they tried it when it was in full screen, is what I'm saying.
I don't know either. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But everyone else in a 120 plus man tournament, including Fox and Falco mains like Toph and Brandon and Phil, were playing on it. So Pew Pew U in the chat played on it. It's the winner of the tournament.
Yeah, it's really important that we get these testimonials.
We have a blackout. We got a blackout.
We're good.
Sunday.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good. That was me messing with the slides, the overlays.
Dude, don't do it for the Midwest, man.
Can't do it. Drop that idea immediately.
All right.
So I think that even if Melee had on me, we could maybe help some TOs get access to these monitors and let even one setup, right? The streaming setup, or even a side stream. If we could have more people try it, maybe we'll get to a place where people start trusting these setups.
Right, because so Fizzy's got this nice analysis about in his article about let's say you've got a 2-frame window to execute something, and you are in on a normal TV you can do it 95% of the time. Well, what percent of the time would you be able to do that if you introduce X frames of lag? And it's one thing to see the math on it, and it's another thing to actually experience it. So we can't. I really want everybody to be able to experience this first, at a local before we get to a place like Evo where it's looking like it's going to be all of these monitors. And I remember Armada in the thread in the Facebook group, he mentioned that he had played on one of these TVs with the same setup, which was supposed to be one that was pretty close to lagless, and he said that it felt off.
Yeah.
But he also said that they were doing streaming or recording or had to split the data somewhere in the setup, so that might have affected it somewhere too. So it's not clear. There's so many different combinations of hardware and stuff that you can have in one of these things, and it's not entirely certain how one affects the other. So hopefully we'll figure it out pretty soon, with this with the SSS tournament.
Normally I'd be afraid of the placebo effect or whatever it's called taking place, but I do trust Armada. If he's the one who said it felt off, I trust his judgment. I'm really interested to hear the testimonials from all of SoCal's finest this upcoming Sunday after Mr. Wizard goes there himself, because he knows how to set it up.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he should.
But when you connect recording and output it to streaming, whatever, I don't feel like it should matter. Right?
No, because it's split. The signal's split, right? It's not like it's going through one and then the other.
Unless I don't know. It depends on how the splitting thing works.
Right.
I don't know.
It
It doesn't seem like it should matter.
It depends on where you split, actually. and depending on like where you do it, it could potentially introduce lag.
Oh,
So
by the way, when it's not called the placebo effect, if the induced effect is bad, it's called nocebo. Nocebo.
okay.
What is confirmation bias? Difference between that and placebo?
Well,
You don't know
confirmation bias
It
is
just means like when you witness a phenomenon, like you're more likely to say that something is very likely because you see it a few times. Like you don't
Yeah, okay.
you keep the success cases in your mind, but you discard the failure cases, or vice versa. Is that about right? Sure.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few kind of related concepts with that. There's a thing that Bobby just mentioned, which is, the selective memory about, the good and versus the bad. And there's also the things where, when you're in your environment, there's like a whole bunch of data coming into you all at once, right? And you just happen to notice the things that confirm what you want to believe or already believe. So, yeah, basically.
Infinite Havoc. That's perfect. Overvalue success rate, but yeah. All right. Anyway, I think that this is like very clear something that we need to continue to test out, and like I think that lots of people have been okay with the more people than not. I think have said that the setup with the monitor is fine. Definitely playable, and it's nothing like playing on like your mom's Panasonic TV or whatever in the in the kitchen. We've all been there. We've all tried to play on like big TVs, and it just doesn't work. But yeah,
It only works for peach mains, dude.
oh god,
Not
just
only,
spin, dude. You ain't
not-
spinning, you ain't winning.
not even
That's
puff
right.
mains can do it.
Oh no, dude, it sucks.
Yeah,
It sucks for
sucks.
Puff.
Just
But
to
anyway,
just to clarify, did Silent Wolf change his mind after the aspect ratio was changed at Landhammer?
No.
I don't think that he played on it day
Oh,
2
okay.
at all.
Got it.
And
And I think that there was like a fear that like if I even touch this setup, that I'm gonna suck. But
yeah, my match for 9th place with Zoo was off stream because he specifically didn't want to play on it.
Got it.
I played on that TV, but I am a Puff main, so I thought it was fine.
Not qualified to
I
speak.
played and defeated Lord on that TV
In tournament.
tournament. Yes.
Really? Yo, Lord's got a couple questionable losses. He lost to
But
YCZ at that one, right?
it's just yeah. But Lord, we all know his MO, right? He just
yeah.
plays to do cool things, and
Make a statement.
yeah, there's
Right.
not that many cool things you can do against Jigglypuff. So
It's true.
Wasn't that on day 1 with the aspect ratio, or did that get fixed before YCZ6?
I think that was later because my pool was like the last quarter
Oh,
of all
okay.
the pools, if I remember.
Right. Okay.
anyway,
Sweet.
all right. I'm so sorry to the stream and to my friends, but I should really go.
All right, Bobby.
But I love everyone who's in the chat, and I love everybody on the Skype call. I will be hopefully at the tournament on Saturday. Is there any plans to stream that, Sheridan?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should be able to do that.
So, do you know what the channel will be? Twitch.tv/
I do. Showdown Smash.
Showdown Smash.
Yeah.
And hopefully they have a commentary set up, and maybe I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. I love you. I'm sorry I have a bunch of stuff to do.
All right,
Good
man.
talk. See you out there.
We're so happy
Peace.
to see you again.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Even
Yeah,
if
I'll be
for-
back
for a
in
short
2
time.
weeks.
All right.
All right, that was Mr. Bobby Scarduzio, the
The
newlywed,
legends.
the most electrifying couple in Melee now. Dude, I was really, well, I guess I wasn't super surprised, but like I was really happy to hear that Sophie played a big part in Bobby kind of rising up to the occasion for Melee Donmeme and the Spirit Bomb.
Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
like super awesome to hear.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, shout outs to Sophie. She had as much to do with the Melee on Me and the Spirit Bomb, kind of inception of that whole process as anyone else. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the Nintendo Direct
The
before
Nintendo
Tope
Direct
gets here.
Okay. So, like I said, I watched through this whole thing twice,
Mm-hmm.
just looking for info, and really, I mean, most of it is just as pertains to the Melee community. I don't feel like there was really that much in terms of the percentage of content that was that important to us. I mean, a lot of it was just, oh, here's this new one-player mode. Here's some, character moves or whatever. What we're interested in is
gameplay.
What does this mean? Yes, gameplay.
Yeah. And we got a lot of assist trophies and trivia and things like that, right? But that's to be expected. To be expected. But I think they took a big step in the right direction with this whole for fun and for glory thing. I know it's FD is not the most neutral stage. Obviously, we can go down that path in that discussion. But like, how surprised were you that Sakurai actually went to the trouble to create a competitive mode in his eyes? Online. Is that surprising to you?
Let me tell you what I think. I don't believe that this was a result of the competitive community at all. Actually.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because I think even casuals like to every so often have that serious match, right? Casuals don't play on dumb stages all the time, right? Sometimes you like to, even if you have no cares about the competitive thing, sometimes you like to, your friend beat you on some dumb stage 2 times in a row, and you want to show them what's up. That's something that's common to a whole bunch of people outside the competitive community. So I think that this was built with that in mind, in my opinion. If the competitive community, his knowledge of it influenced it, I think it was, on the smaller half of it, in my opinion.
It's just the whole no items, final destination only. They even threw the only in there, or whatever the translation is for the Japanese. That just made me think, Sakurai's not as out of touch as we might think about like competitive smashers. We all none of us know. It's all speculation. I don't think he's ever gonna address it because Nintendo won't let him. So.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
On a side note about stages, did you guys see D1's hilarious video?
I did see it.
No, I haven't. Dude, what is this?
Do you want to post it in the chat?
Dude, somebody please post this.
Okay.
So basically,
I'll try to find it.
It's a D1's reactions to the stage reveals, and then if it looks kind of janky, you'll be like banned in a really excited D1 voice. And it's actually really hilarious when you see it all.
I think I got it. Here we go.
It's really funny.
Yeah, dude, it's great. So you guys just watch that in your free time because D1 is just a fantastic human being.
And they put overlays too, that funny text overlays as it happens.
Yo, send it in the chat because I don't have the.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go.
Skype chat.
But yeah, so the conclusion I think from that video is we will have enough stages to do, hopefully, a real game. Won't be relegated to 3 stages or whatever. Yeah, and there's some bizarre stages.
What is this FD version of every stage?
Oh, well, that's just it changes the skin of FD.
Huh. So it's same dimensions, you think?
I don't. It's hard to tell. It looked like there was one version of it where the slope was the edges was kind of slanted inwards after you hit the edges, and in some it looked kind of straight. So it's hard to tell.
I don't even know
if there's anything. They're pretty minor. I mean, there could also be some that are wider or shorter than other ones. So who knows?
I just want my Pokemon Stadium neutral transformation stage. That's all I want. That's the perfect stage for me.
Stage sucks.
Yeah,
it's too big. It's too.
You don't like the fact that you can get killed at 55 on that?
Oh my god, less than that. Basically, if Fox grabs you while you're at 42%, up air is death.
You're in danger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
God damn.
And people that it's so hard to play against people that run away from Puff too. Even a Samus or Peach that runs away on that stage.
A Peach that runs away.
Yeah, runs away and throws turnips.
Huh.
It's just annoying, man. I like to fight those guys on small stages. I'll pick Yoshi's Story against Samus or Peach. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's one other interesting thing I noticed while watching this is well, we all know that there's the brawl air dodge in this, right?
Yeah.
And you air dodge, you continue your trajectory, and when you finish your air dodge, you can do another move. What I seem to notice is that when you get hit, there's kind of like the smoke cloud coming out of your body, and a few times what I notice is that that smoke cloud disappears exactly when the air dodge. So I wonder if this cloud is like an indication of
Hit stun?
how long your hit stun is.
Yeah.
And if it is, then it looks to be like there's a what I would call a melee-like amount of hit stun on some of these moves, which is a good sign because for me, for all the problems with Brawl, I really think that the hit stun thing is by far the most troubling for a competitive aspect. I don't know if any of you guys.
I saw one clip where there's a Link forward smashing a Mario, and the Mario kind of gets out of hit stun and air dodges in between like what would be a Brawl hit stun and a melee hit stun. So it's kind of in between.
Right.
But in melee, you go into a tumble, right? You can't do that sort of thing. You have to do a move or a jump or something.
Well, I mean, you could hypothetically, as soon as your tumble's done,
I
air
guess.
dodge.
Yeah, you can wiggle out.
You have to wiggle out first, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna add Toph. Apparently he's on.
Cool.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you guys really just stood out to you guys?
I mean, we could speculate like till the end of time,
right?
For
I mean,
all
like
these
just
details.
like one thing that just really stood out.
But,
it doesn't have to be.
Okay, so I mean, what I want to talk about is how this 3DS release in the summer is gonna affect the competitive scene. I really no idea what the 3DS is like. That's like a Twitter topic for Sheridan. I literally know nothing about it. Is this even gonna be something that could be streamed at all, or what? Like how's that even gonna affect?
I
the
honestly,
competitive...
I don't know.
Daniel, do you know anything more about 3DSs than we do?
Well, I own one, but as far I don't know if you can get easy to access direct input feeds where you can just extract like what's coming out in terms of video onto like a computer.
I know Arian's trying to host a 3DS tournament. He's trying to become the first 3DS Smash TO. I'm not about that. I was like, yo, I'm not touching that thing. I don't know a thing about that. I don't know if that'll affect anything.
On the other hand, it's something that can easily be run concurrently with existing Smash tournaments.
Yes.
For the most part, it doesn't take extra setups.
The Smash 4 Wii U. Jeez, that's a fucking mouthful to say. Smash 4 Wii U console version.
Are they going to give it an official title, or is it just going to be called?
I don't think so, dude. It's way too late.
SSB4.
That ship has sailed.
WUA 3DS.
Yeah. No, I think that's over with. It's too late. But when the console version is released, that's actually gonna affect things a lot.
Yeah.
The 3DS, just small beans. We're gonna have a lot of casuals playing it.
But I mean, I have to get a 3DS now because
Do you?
I think the main significant thing about the 3DS release is it's going to give us a lot of insight into what Smash 4 is going to look like in general when the Wii U release comes out, and it'll give us a lot of insight into what or how the tournament scene is going to play out from that point on. Sup, guys?
Sup, dude? How you living?
Getting off work really late as usual. Go ahead, Tafo.
I feel like you can still figure out how to combo, what the hit stun is, and just get a loose feel for how the moves work. And I think whoever has a 3DS will have a big advantage going into when the Wii version comes out.
But I believe they said that it will have the same cast and just different stages, right?
And some different multiplayer modes or something. There's a mode or something.
So I assume things like the hit stun are gonna scale directly from the 3DS to the Wii U version.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go messing around with those values and those settings from console to console.
Right.
The only way I can see that is if they found something game breaking and they had time to change it. That's the only
that
thing.
might be, that might be. I wonder if that's actually maybe part of the strategy.
That'd be really interesting, dude. We don't give Sakurai enough credit for awareness of these things. Sakurai, dude, how do you say it? How do you say it?
Sakurai.
Sakurai.
Dude,
we don't give him enough
Sheridan
credit.
Senpai.
He actually, I don't know if he was responsible for this, but all those PAL changes made complete sense in terms of what was kind of broken. What was not. Almost all of them. Almost all of them.
Ganon's punch didn't need to be nerfed.
wait. With 2002 logic, man, that punch probably seemed broken as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, like down throw landing further away from
down throw.
Cheek, that's huge.
Yeah, the
right?
angle change,
Fox's up smash.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So they were pretty much they were very prophetic with those changes, especially in 2002. Would not be surprised if they use that 3DS version to make the similar changes before the Wii U version is out. That's actually a really good point. I hadn't thought of it.
And I wonder. I think we're seeing some indications of Sakurai's thought process when he's talking about some of these characters. One thing that stood out to me was how he was talking about Little Mac and how he's a ground character, and he's purposely designed with strengths and weaknesses, like any well-designed character should be. And I mean, I feel like that's sort of an obvious thing for most people, but it's one of those things that maybe Sakurai and the other game designers maybe don't get enough credit for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also am of the opinion that a lot of the things we used to take for granted, or not for granted, but the things that we used to assume were happy little accidents in Melee, have had more actual, conscious design influence than we would have initially thought. Even, I wanted to point out, even when that video, the match video where Sakurai played Mega Man, if you watch, he actually edgeguards successfully twice. He actually read the Mario player's jump with the metal blade. Like the Mario player jumped. Yeah, it's like when you jump into like a Sheik Needle, and then he killed him. I think I don't remember if he edge hogged him or what, but it was a very, very conscious edge guard.
Oh, yeah,
the same thing on the left side of the stage. He did the same thing with the hard punch. The Mario was trying to sweet spot the ledge, and he did the hard punch straight downwards. So,
yeah, that's another thing. I wonder. I haven't been able to pick the videos apart yet for this, but ledge rolls for edge hogging. In Brawl, it's
obviously
like
terrible,
super quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to be like in this. I haven't been able to parse that out.
That's something that we're going to have to sit down and figure out the first day of the 3DS release.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing that somebody in the chat reminded me, custom movesets.
Yeah, dude, what is that all about?
When I saw this, the first thing I thought of is, I hope this is not a pain in the ass to standardize at tournaments.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It seems like the kind of thing that might be like, okay, like with Ultra Street Fighter 4, how there's not custom movesets, but you can use, characters from previous versions, but not online, and they don't want to make it a tournament standard. So it could be something like that. But then again,
custom mode. It's a custom separate mode, so I don't see.
Do you think so?
Is it?
Is it separate mode entirely?
Yeah.
That seems a little unwieldy. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, but I don't know. There's just a lot of ways it could go, and I have no idea. If it's a custom mode, though, then it's just like that to me indicates, well, one, it's easy to not have to deal with that at tournaments.
Yeah, it's just like a special melee mode in that case.
Yeah.
Dude.
But then, like, how would you combine that with the other special melee modes that you might want to do?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. I wonder if it'll be something like attached to tags, like custom controller stuff was in Brawl.
Right.
And these movesets are, like he said in the video, you can only do it with friends and local. So I wonder, this is probably something that's going to be saved on disc, right? So this is something that you'll bring to a tournament, and
Who?
you know, everybody's Wii U will have a different whole bunch of junk associated with it.
Sounds like it could get pretty messy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If we're gonna try to use it in tournaments.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't this like gems in like Street Fighter X Tekken? So just to kind of give a short summary, Street Fighter X Tekken, you can get like attack and defense and speed boosts using gems, but I don't think they allow those in tournaments.
Are they banned in tournaments?
Or like I think you're limited to like a very small amount. I think with like the DLCs and stuff, you have access to like a gross amount of combinations. I think they're limited on what you
Maybe they just like only allow the free ones or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit naive on the subject though.
Yeah.
Could be like, could be like Gunbound. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
Reference after reference that I don't understand. I feel useless.
Juggler, you're the worst Asian. I just want to reiterate that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go into detail.
You're not the first one. You're not the first one.
The events that transpired 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know. It's a combination of a lot of things. Chopsticks, Asian movie night skipping, all the whole thing.
Juggle guy. I'm sorry. I just because everyone's gonna wondering what I'm talking about. Juggle guy said he's never seen an Asian movie.
No, that's not true.
What did you say? You did say that.
I relatively, relative to all you guys, I might as well have never seen an Asian movie. I've seen like 2 or 3, I think. Couldn't name them.
It's okay. Sheridan hasn't seen Space Jam yet.
What?
I have seen Space Jam.
No,
he's just in Spanish.
He just doesn't like it. He just doesn't like it.
And I don't like it. Yeah.
You watched it in Spanish? What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was in Spanish class.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've only seen the Spanish dub.
Is that why you hate Michael Jordan?
No, Michael Jordan's just an asshole.
What?
Well, I mean, obviously I don't know the guy, but I've heard things.
Come on, man.
Michael Jordan, if you're watching, let's get to know each other.
He's watching back here. Back here.
Yeah.
Which one is he? This one. That one. I don't know. Yeah, grew up in Chicago. I can actually say I'm a Michael Jordan fan. So, eat it. Greatest of all time in basketball. Dude, who's the Michael Jordan of Melee? Is it Mango? It's probably Mango, right?
It's probably Mango, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Armada is Kobe or something. Because that's like the debate, right?
I want Phil and Brandon to be the ones to do like basketball to Melee analogies. They would do it perfectly. I'm sure they've done it in some commentary somewhere, like on YouTube, buried it underneath a bunch of search results. Can't find them, but yeah.
No, I think Jordan would have to be Ken, just because of the pattern of playing and retiring.
Okay,
playing
you know
and
what?
retiring, and also because the debate with Michael Jordan versus Kobe is that
they're from 2 different eras.
2 different eras, but also the rules were different in those eras because the rules are slightly more buffed for defense in this era compared to Jordan's.
And also, nobody's gonna match 72 and 10 in basketball, so that could be like Ken's like undefeated era. Or like relatively undefeated.
Yeah.
I can buy it.
All right. Anyway,
we should move on, right?
Nintendo Direct?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else that we want to talk about with the Nintendo Direct?
Yes. No. Yes.
No. Yeah.
Go ahead, dude. What do you want to talk about, Toph?
I was just gonna say that. No, I'm gonna catch way too much.
Wow.
No, I'll say it anyway. I'll say it anyway.
Yeah,
He's flip-flopped like 5 times in the last like 30 seconds.
I'm just gonna say it. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Say what? I don't know what you're gonna say.
I like Greninja.
All right, fine.
I'm probably gonna play him.
Okay, so let me just. I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna ask you this question. When you get the game for the first time, who's the first character you're picking? Robin.
Dude, I'm lame.
Falcon will be in there.
I'm lame. Falcon's gonna be one of the.
Falcon will be in there. We know this.
First, like 2 or 3.
First one. I don't care about first 2 or 3. I want to know the very first game, the very first match you play.
The very first one. It's gonna be one of the new characters. I don't know who yet. It's gonna be one of the new ones, like that haven't been in any Smash game before. Maybe Little Mac. I don't know. Maybe fucking Greninja. I don't know. But Captain Falcon's gonna be the second one.
All right, Daniel.
Mega Man. I love Mega Man.
Yeah, yeah.
Toph, going with Mega Man?
It's either gonna be Mega Man or Greninja. I just said I like Greninja. What do you want? What do you want from me? I feel like yeah. So go ahead.
I'm going with Mega Man for sure. Mega Man's my boy.
Mega Man.
Yeah, but okay. So in case anybody was wondering, I went and looked up what Greninja's name was in Japanese because I wondered if he was a gecko or a frog, and in Japanese his name is Gekko-ga.
Yeah.
So he must be a gecko. So in case you guys were wondering, I've done the research. And
thanks for that information, Sheridan.
Although the previous two evolutions apparently have like frog or croak in their name, so he went from a frog directly to a gecko. That doesn't make very much sense.
So the thing is, I might be talking. Well, I don't necessarily think that gecko implies a gecko. Like gecko in Japanese doesn't mean gecko.
But
so.
Wait, Greninja's like a lizard?
My belief is that he is a gecko.
I don't think he is. I think this is like a Mew thing where people are like, oh, Mew's a cat because Mew means meow, and it's like, well,
but it doesn't.
No, but it doesn't. Nya is right. Mew is not a cat at all. Mew is a I'm pretty sure gecko doesn't carry the implication of being a gecko. Also,
but it's not like.
Also, there is a very like, I don't know what the origin of it is, but there's this association with frogs and ninjas. Like if you've seen Naruto, like the character of Jiraiya is. I mean, I'm not just saying because.
Yeah,
of Naruto.
no. How did that even? How did that become a thing? Frogs and ninjas being associated with each other.
I don't know. But it's been a thing.
What on earth?
Someone in the chat has claimed that Greninja is a combination of Grenouille, French for frog, and ninja. So.
That'd be genius if that's how they came up with it, like the.
But that's the English name. That's not the Japanese name.
Okay.
What should we care about? Maybe it's like one of those things where in Japan he's a gecko, in America he's a frog.
That doesn't exist.
No, it exists because I can think of two cases where this exists.
Go ahead.
Sheik is apparently male in Japan, or one or the other.
Whoa.
Yeah, Sheik is male in Japan.
Yeah. Yes.
And Sheik is implied to be female in America.
In America.
And Poison from Street Fighter, I can't remember which is which.
See, but that's okay. Wait. Stop. Those are like political correctness issues, though. There's no reason.
But I still believe that may be the origin of it, but that made it into the canon of the game, even if it's a silly reason.
So you're saying like they thought that geckos were politically incorrect for America?
No, but they just why would they have gecko in there?
I'll look it up. I mean, I'll find out. I'll find out and I'll tweet about it.
We can debate the etymology of Pokemon, Pokemans all we want.
Okay.
Let's move on. I will find out. I will make this a thing. I'll make a little post on MIOM about it, and then one of the rest of the mods can delete it because it's going to be a stupid thread.
Can I do a survey in a spreadsheet?
Go ahead.
Sick.
All right.
We're moving on.
All right. Moving on.
All right.
Adderall usage at Smash tournaments. This is as interesting a topic as we've dealt with for a while on MIOM. And I remember the first time I had even thought about this is when PewPewU made a post in the SoCal Melee Facebook group after the next episode talking about it and just asking for people's opinions. And then it blew up into this, multi-hundred reply thread, and I think it's gone now. But yeah, that's when I first heard of it. What do you guys think? Does someone else want to introduce this topic, this issue, better than I can?
I feel like Toph or Sheridan can.
Let's talk about what Adderall is and why it blew up in the first place, right?
Sure.
So, Adderall is a drug that is prescribed for ADHD and related conditions to help that person kind of mitigate their condition to help them focus on, the things in front of them so that they can have a, productive life, hopefully.
Right.
But if you are a neurotypical human being and you take Adderall, then many people have reported that it helps them focus just with tasks in general, like homework or tests, and including fighting games like Smash. And I'm sure this has been a point of contention in other communities as well.
It has.
So the problem is if this drug helps you play, then do we want our basically is if this is so great and then people start doing Adderall to win tournaments, is this something we want to allow to be part of the metagame of Smash, basically? Because
so there's that, and it's also slightly more complicated than that, because then if it gets into if where do we draw the line on how we want to enforce it, which is very I mean, in the present infrastructure, we probably can't, right? But I mean, if we're taking off towards this esports sort of paradigm, where do we want Adderall to play, and similar psychostimulants like Dex or what have you, to kind of play into that sphere, I suppose, is kind of the issue on the table. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. The first question is, does it really give Smashers an advantage? And there's been wildly varying testimonies on this.
No, the answer is yes.
I know you say yes, and you mentioned a couple other people have said yes, and
And I've seen people. Okay, so give me an example of. I don't want to name names because I feel like this shouldn't be about outing people, but everyone who's ever said yes to this is a really good player, and everyone I've seen on the internet who's it doesn't help that much. I've never heard of them as a competitor.
Right. So it's probably it takes what is there and amplifies it, right? It's not like a fixed bonus.
Can't make a bad player good, but it can make a good player maybe a little bit better, a little more focused, is what you're saying?
It makes you, essentially, you feel like you're playing really good.
Right. And also, but, neurochemistry is a very complicated thing, and the results are definitely going to vary from person to person.
Yeah.
So I don't think one person's experience... even if you have your own experience, I don't think that it's wise to use that as the be-all end-all of your judgment for this scenario. We have to look at the average case, the likely case for when we make judgments about something like this.
Can you see an MLG or an EVO even entertaining the possibility of trying to enforce this? Is that even in the realm? Is there any universe in which we would get big enough as an esport to, for the companies to be worrying about this? What do you think?
Well, it depends. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of things you can do as far as what's enforcement, right? You can do something where you actually, do your analysis on all the players before they go up to the stage or whatever. And there's also something where, you don't do anything, just if you see it blatantly, if you witness it directly, then you do something about it.
Yeah, the code of conduct threat.
Those are kind of the two ends of the spectrum of what you could possibly do with enforcement. I guess that wasn't really, that was less a question about enforcement and more about...
just the morality of it, right? What do we think?
But there's a question of how you're going to determine that people are doing this, and there's a question of what you do once you've determined that. So, I mean, those are both independent questions.
Yeah,
I think. So, so what I mentioned was the spectrum of how you can go about looking for this, and the question of what you can do. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I want to kind of
let me set the scenario up. Let's say we know for 100% fact that a player has is on Adderall and is at the time of the response where this effect is maximum and they're about to go up on the stage and play. What do you do at this point in your perfect scenario as a TO?
Well, like at that point, I definitely would. If you laid out that scenario at that moment of time, I definitely would not do anything. But I think it'd be a matter of discussing it before the tournament and discussing whether we should try to enforce anything that will prevent that situation from happening in the first place.
Okay, so let me rephrase. Let's say you had in place a no
Sure.
Adderall at the tournament, and you know this person does not have a prescription. You haven't outlined exactly what you're going to do if you find somebody who violates this rule, but obviously it's at your discretion. So basically I'm saying it's at your discretion now what to do. This person is doing something that you said they should not do, and now you know for a fact that they're doing it.
But I don't know if I would say that they should not do it in the first place. Like I just don't think there's. I mean, you have a lot of top players, a lot of hearsay. Like, okay, yeah, it really does help me. But just don't think there's enough out there, and you always have to draw a line between what you're allowing attendees to do and not do. I don't think that's something that is really enforceable at this point, at least at a grassroots level.
But I'm giving you the scenario where you know for a fact that this person is doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. This is it's a really interesting thought. I don't think I would really I would lean on the side of just being hands off with that situation. If that's the closest answer I would have to give.
Daniel, Toph, you guys have thoughts about what, if not from Matteo's perspective, about what you would want to see at a tournament?
All right, this is what I think is reasonable right now. I agree with Robin. I don't think that right now it's necessarily in the TO's place, because I think that we would really need more evidence and more just standardization before we start actually like policing something like this. What I do approve of is what Pew Pew did, where he basically, that's kind of what started this. I think, is he went in the SoCal Melee group basically.
Yeah.
And and he basically proposed a gentleman's agreement between the good players and the people who may or may not be taking Adderall, and basically said, can we just agree not to do this because we don't want to see the game go in this direction. Right now, given the current Melee landscape, that's feasible. It's not judging anyone. It's not enforcing anything. We're not throwing anyone out of it, and we're not throwing anyone under the bus. It's really just like, hey, Adderall shouldn't necessarily be a thing. We don't want the game to move in that, or the scene to move in that direction. Can we nip this in the bud? And it got a lot of positive response. So without going into what a TO should do, it's a player stepping forward and basically saying, yeah, can we have a gentleman's agreement? And there was positive response to that. So I think until we reach that we're as big as StarCraft, whatever esport level, I think that's fine. I think, because the important thing is right now there isn't even really like a moral, there isn't even really a community-wide like moral like decision on what to do with the whole Adderall thing. And just starting that conversation and putting that out there and being like, hey, we would like to acknowledge this as something that we don't want everyone to be doing, maybe please. And then then the majority of players see that and think, okay, so this is a negative thing. This is something that we don't really want to perpetuate. And that and then, from there it already, that solves 90% of the problem. I feel like as long as everyone's on the same page and is thinking that this is not the direction we want the competitive scene to need to move to, then then essentially you have to go against the grain and go against what the community establishes as what is right to do it, right? And then we can start looking at enforcing if there are people who are still,
Here's the question I have though. How do you know when that happens? Because
it's tough.
For the gentleman's agreement, which I agree, let's take that as a starting point.
Okay.
Let's say somebody violates that gentleman's agreement, and it's only known between these two top players. Top player A plays against top player B, and A loses to B, and A also knows that B took Adderall before the set, and A did not, right? Now A has the ability to out this person, but you don't just out people. You know, we're all friends with one another, right?
Right.
How is this person going to try to enforce this gentleman's agreement without really just kind of being threatening about revealing it to the public?
Would that really be enforcing? Because, like, again, we don't have a set in stone. It's not a hard and fast rule yet.
I know,
it's
but if you want to make the gentleman's agreement, you know, worth its words, you know, worth the words that you spoke on it, then, you know, if somebody breaks it, you have to do something about it, don't you? Or doesn't that kind of undermine the integrity of the agreement if you have a bunch of people that are violating it, but then the people that know about it don't do anything about it?
Okay, so hang on. The player who lost in this scenario, I forget if he's player A or player B.
Well, whatever. Just
right. The losing player. What does he gain from outing player A, the winning player?
So hopefully,
why can't he just go to the winning player? And I mean, because he doesn't. It's not like the victory is going to get reversed from him doing this. Why can't he just go to the winning player privately?
Because
and expresses, you know, and then if the winning player keeps doing it, he raises it to, you know, the community essentially if he feels that is what, you know, the right thing to do is.
Right. So, but I'm saying is ultimately there has to be some kind of threat or fear from the other person that they're going to lose something as a result of them taking Adderall for a competitive advantage, right? So, and the reason would be is, you know, hopefully to encourage other people who might be thinking about doing it, who might get found out, to not do it. You know, it's to encourage people not to do it, you know, in advance. I mean, that's the whole.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, you know, there's got to be consequences for breaking a gentleman's agreement, even though the whole concept of a gentleman's agreement is a little bit sketchy in the first place.
Nebulous. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I'm kind of speaking again. I'm speaking sort of from a, like, everything I'm saying about the issue is relevant to the scene as it is right now.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I don't think we need rules for it yet, and yet is the big word here, because I hope we never reach that point.
Well, okay. Let me say, let's say we don't have any rules for it. Can we still have TOs say, you know, if it's something that we can't obviously enforce with great accuracy or without being invasive, is it something that we can put in our policy that we don't want people coming to the tournament using this? Can we write that down in our, I mean, I want to say rule set, even though it's not a rule per se.
Code of conduct.
Code. There you go. Code of conduct. Can we put that down in our code of conduct?
Yeah. I think we can. I've included a code of conduct on almost everything, you know, I've hosted in the last couple years, and most of the stuff in there is to the effect of, like, you know, if you're suspected of throwing matches or, you know, intentionally manipulating the bracket, even if you're suspected, the TO has the right to disqualify you, things like that. And similarly, if you are seen in possession of drugs or alcohol in this public venue that, you know, we paid for, or even, you know, if you're suspected of doing so, the TO has the right to evict you from the venue in the best interest of the event. Adderall, though, that's different, because first of all, it's harder to tell than if, you know, if someone's impaired.
Well,
or
I mean, also the person could have a prescription.
They could have a
prescription for it.
And it really poses less of a safety and code of conduct risk to other attendees. It's mostly that's isolated towards. It's a different issue. Like, performance enhancement is the issue, and we don't even know if that's really a thing. It's just testimonies from top players. We don't even know if that's a thing yet. So
let's run with one scenario. Well, let's just say, for the purpose of this discussion, that we know that it is.
Okay.
an unfair.
Then I think that's fair game for a TO to put that in the code of conduct. And not everything you can't put absolutely everything in the tournament rule set or the code of conduct. Like there's people who are ridiculous out there. It's like, oh, you know what? I mean, you didn't say I couldn't unplug someone's controller in the middle of a match, so that means I can do it, right? It's like, no, dude, that falls under like common sense, code of conduct, and something like this. I think it's fair game if in the hypothetical scenario that it is proven, Adderall really does enhance performance. I think TOs can do that.
Because I think we have clauses in there about things, not just the safety of people there, which we have for things like alcohol and other drugs, but the integrity of the tournament itself, which most notably I think throwing matches or pot splitting, playing Pichu or whatever in finals, and I think having Adderall falls in a similar category,
closer to
where
that.
It's something that affects the integrity of what we consider to be competitive spirit results. And what we want to see in a tournament.
Yeah. I don't see myself doing that personally in the near future, but I think if it is researched a little bit more with respect to gaming performance, that could be fair game as a code of conduct thing in the future. Daniel, what were you gonna say?
I just don't like the idea that it's not happened yet, but like if people begin finding out that top players happen to be using Adderall, whether or not it's the main reason, or like whether or not it's actually helping them win, like I don't want to perpetuate a culture where like the average player is like, oh, okay, like it seems like Adderall is helping him, so now I'm just going to take it and it's going to work out. Like I don't want that to happen.
Right.
And that's my concern.
Exactly. And so I think even if we can't do anything about it right now, which maybe we can, maybe we can't. Even if we can't do anything about it right now, I still think that we need to put it in the code of conduct just to get the word out,
just to dissuade people from starting, just to let people know,
just to let people know that we know about this. We would prefer this not happen at our tournaments, because some people may not know that this is something that we don't want. They may think that this is something that, some people do this, some people don't. I'm just going to do it. But we want to make it clear what, the TO, what the competitive stance is on it to everybody. And I think we can do that by making a clear statement about it in TO code of conduct.
It's essentially just making a decision on not necessarily the legality, but the morality.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And see, really, that's all I was saying with regards to the gentleman's agreement thing. I think by having something like that out there, even just what Pew Pew posted and getting that message out to people, I think that's steps in the right direction. I think that's essentially what you're also saying.
Yeah.
There's also one more thing I wanted to say.
Sure.
Just kind of responding to people in the chat.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying things like, oh, what about marijuana, alcohol? If you play better high or drunk, are those performance enhancers? And I think the actual term performance enhancer, that's a well-defined, that's a thing, right?
Yeah,
so like there's a reason, there's a reason certain substances are classified as performance enhancers and some aren't. You can go to the Wikipedia page on Adderall right now and read about it, and there are scientific studies classifying it as a performance enhancer. So that's why we're looking at it in that light, and we're not looking at weed in that light, because weed is not typically classified.
But I still don't want. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I'm not going to do a physical test on somebody.
Of course.
But I don't want to see it in or around the venue. So if you do it, I don't want to know about it. It's I would prefer that nobody show up to a tournament high or use it anytime during the tournament.
And I think to add on to that, we're getting people as young as 12 and 13 at MIOMs, at our local tournaments, and granted, they're gonna make their own choices and they're probably eventually gonna discover things anyway. But I wouldn't want Smash to be a catalyst for these young 12-year-olds to get into Adderall and even weed. I mean, it just doesn't feel kosher with me.
Yeah.
But
That's all about the culture that we perceive to be in the best interest of the community, right?
Right.
Just like streams don't want you dropping F-bombs all over the place. Like at tournaments, we want it to be, well, like especially Smash, this community has been all about, being as inclusive as possible, more so than other communities. So I think this is kind of a separate issue, but it definitely falls in line with the whole culture of, what is best for our community. And there's not like set in stone rules to deal with this, but it can be something that can be put into a code of conduct.
Right.
But I think the main goal right now is just to get the word out about how this is perceived at tournaments, and that this is not something that we want to permeate the culture of tournaments, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And especially, if we have the voice of top players like Pew Pew who make a thread, and I think maybe that probably only got kind of local West Coast exposure. I don't know if the East Coast people really saw too much about it, so who knows how much that that influenced them. But I would hope that there would be respected people who have that discussion.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
Cool.
Cool.
Anything else we need to add on this topic? Are we trying to get a Game Clucks guy in here?
He could not make it this
Okay.
week. Yeah.
What was I gonna say about Adderall? I'm not gonna, without naming any names. There is at least one before, just also kind of in response to the whole is it a performance enhancer thing. Even though I realized we were talking about that quite a while ago. There is at least one really, really, really good space animal who used to use it a lot, and now explicitly doesn't use it on morality reasons, essentially saying it's cheating. So there's that. So yeah, there is a precedent for people thinking it's cheating, and for people in the know and who have abused it in the past to think it's cheating. So, So I just want to get that out.
Right.
Yeah, that's useful information.
We're not making this up.
Yeah,
Right.
this didn't come out of thin air for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, and one last thing to add, I think a lot of people are saying, well, what about prescriptions? And I think this boils down to the intent. Like, I think we know who genuinely needs it. I mean, it's pretty obvious you could verify it if they really wanted to. And there's people who will use it with the intent to one up the competition.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how it works, but I think I wonder if it's possible for a person with a prescription to take a larger than normal dose and get a similar advantage that a neurotypical person would from a regular dose. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's something that we would want to discourage from people that have a prescription too.
I don't know, man. We need an MIOM doctor, like a medical doctor.
Right.
Are there any?
If there are, I think they're off doing better things with their time than stalking the Facebook group.
Maybe he's Patch Adams, but for Melee. That's how he entertains the kids.
Yeah, no. If we could get some expert opinion on this, just to go along with all the precedent, that'd be awesome. If anybody knows. What else? We got some upcoming events. Want to talk about those?
Yeah. So let's look at these events. So Civil War 6.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You guys see the trailer? Hey, you guys see the trailer for that?
I did not. Dude, Papa Paint has stepped up to make some pretty sick trailers, dude.
Follow. I'm going to put his, you know what? I'm going to put his name in because I looked at this guy's Twitter recently, and it is absolutely criminal how few followers this guy has.
Oh, yeah.
But follow this man, Papa Paint, who makes some of the greatest.
Did he make the next
Honestly, he makes some really good trailers.
Too?
He did, and he also did a lot of the production work for at Apex, I believe, for the Salty Suite, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it was pretty sick that Gamer got that all together in the turnaround time of less than a day. So if he had help, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
dude, Daniel, you versus Tien is the funniest Salty Suite intro that
Dude,
I've seen out of all of them.
Smile. I can't not smile.
Oh my god.
Has anyone seen this?
Post it.
This is gonna be the video that I link to anytime you link to a Juggle Fox video. I'm gonna timestamp like the salty sweet Tafo versus Tien. At
least I don't get 27 stock.
Wow. It was a JV 27 stock. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. That makes it a lot better, actually.
But you know, dude, I played him at Kings of Cali, and I took 5 stocks out of 7 matches in the rematch. So that's a 150% improvement over last time.
Damn.
Nice. That's fantastic.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about Civil War 6.
Oh yeah, Civil War 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got PP, we got Chudat, we got Hacks. So it should be a fun time. I believe VG Bootcamp is streaming that too. It's got Evo points.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well,
That's
hold
fantastic.
on a second. Evo is using like a whole bunch of tournaments for Evo points this year instead of like a set 4 or 5 tournaments. So I believe this is one of those tournaments where Mr. Wiz is going to look at the results and be like, okay, so who got top 8? Okay, you guys are going to be seeded into...
Is he looking at any of the road or the MLG qualifiers as well?
I kind of doubt it.
Are very...
But I mean,
is there a list?
I don't know if there is a list.
Yeah, good question.
I wouldn't know. But the ones I do know of are the FGC tournaments that, you know, just happen to have Smash at them. Not
like NCR.
Yeah, like
NCR.
Yeah.
The next item on our agenda,
which people should register for, right?
Yes,
when is the deadline? Deadline's in a couple days, isn't it?
The deadline, if you do not register by Sunday, you will have to register at the door, and that'll cost either $10 or $15 more. I don't remember what it is. You don't want that to happen.
No, you don't. Because the real issue, right? Because if you register late, you're gonna get thrown into a hard pool.
That's right.
You're gonna have West Balls round 1. You're gonna have West Balls
round 1.
You're gonna lose. And who's gonna be in losers? Dewan's gonna, and you're gonna go to losers, and you're gonna have Dewan, who was sent to losers by like Hybrid or something.
Oh no.
Okay, wait a minute. How did? Can somebody explain to me how Stab beat Dewan at the last NorCal local?
He went Marth.
How? Okay, fine.
That doesn't mean anything. No, that doesn't mean anything.
No,
that's one of
that's still.
No, that doesn't mean anything.
I still don't buy that. I do not buy that one bit.
He went Marth, and Stab is actually really good against. He's actually pretty good against Marth. He plays against. He used to play against Hybrid and stuff all the time.
That's true.
But then once he switched to Sheik, he bopped him.
You know what? Let's not start talking about this because there are a whole bunch of things I would say that I don't want to say. Let's just get back to the agenda.
Right. Yeah. So NorCal Regionals, again, this has got Evo points. It is in glorious Sacramento, California. Sorry, I cannot keep a straight face saying that.
Can you not say that when I have beer in my mouth?
It's in Sacramento, and
the capital of California.
Capital of California. Let me link that in that chat. And you know, if you want to get a hotel room, you can get a really cheap hotel right now through this site. Oh, the thing's being stupid. Anyway, link that in the chat for me if you could. So you'll see that the date is 18th through the 20th, but Melee is only going to be Saturday and Sunday. But we will have friendlies all day on Friday too. And then, of course, if you just want to come and play friendlies and that's it, you just have to pay $10. And you know, you're going to have your time on Friday, but you're not going to have much time on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I think everything's going to get shut down because Sunday is finals day.
Nice.
And
which means hype.
Yes. So it's going to be finals will be at 1 p.m. on that Sunday Pacific time.
To allow
Perfect.
residents of the Deep to... Nah, I'm not going to put that. But yes.
Perfect.
I hope the Deep representatives will come up and return, you know, think that they will return in time for their stupid festivities.
Is that what they're doing? Did the schedule get affected by not legit plans of members of the Deep?
No.
Please tell me it didn't.
No.
Okay.
No. But I do think some some people are making their decision to come or not based on.
Well, I'm sure they have their priorities.
Dude, yeah, which is like, I don't know.
Priorities,
I don't
man.
know. I'm not gonna go into it.
So,
All right.
we got Fight Pit happening on the same weekend over on East Coast in Pittsburgh, and Fight Pit was started, I believe, a year-ish ago by a fellow by the name of Bears Fan out in Pittsburgh, and he has grown the series to pretty amazing levels. I think the last one got 95 entrants, and M2K and Mango went. So, should be really fun. I think M2K and Mango might be confirmed again. I see them in like the titles of these Facebook events. Wife is going to be there, husband's going to be there, so there's going to be a lot of really old school commentary that's also really a breath of fresh air because we haven't heard those two commentate together in a while. And of course, Juggle Guy's going to be there. Hopefully he can take more than 5 stocks out of 7 games from Mewtwo King this time in part 3 of M2K vs Juggle Fox. And VG Bootcamp streaming, of course. And like I think the tournament calendar, it's really funny how the events that we dictate as important, it's kind of controlled by the streamers now, just because they've gotten so big and like gamers put in so much work. Can't say enough like how much work that guy's put in. So Civil War, VG Bootcamp streaming that. Fight Pit, VG Bootcamp's also streaming that. And then NorCal Regionals for you guys on West Coast too.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And one more tournament I want to get out there is the Northwest Regionals. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, who's going to that?
Northwest Manifest.
Northwest Majors.
Northwest Regionals, Northwest Manifest, Northwest Majors. Which one is it?
Northwest Majors.
Northwest Manifest. Dude, it was like March 2012. How did you guys get randomly Dr. Peepee to fly out there? Toph, was that?
Because it was like the sickest tournament ever.
That was pretty sick.
That was a sick Tavo. That was a sick tournament. You know that was a sick tournament.
It was sick. I would agree.
That was like the first time I really hung out with Tavikans on like a person-to-person level.
Oh,
yeah.
you know, let's fire some shots. I think that's the tournament where you ended Scar's career for the first time.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oops.
Dude, who would have thunk it? Toph ending Scar's career in March 2012, and then like less than a year later, they're commentating at NCR and forming like the birth of one of the greatest commentary duos in modern Melee history.
That's true. That is how that went down, dude. That was what no one knows though is that Scar actually whooped me pretty bad in pools at the same tournament. He had me in pools.
Dude, that probably added to his frustration. Like, dude, I already beat this fool once. Like, why do I have to do it again? Okay, I lost. Like, what is this? Never coming to this tournament again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
that was interesting.
I had a lot of funny moments.
There were. Yo, me and Tafo tied at that tournament. We both did pretty good. We got 9th.
Yeah.
Right? We freaking tied with Otto.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Akanos, which was surprising because he still is really good, but I didn't think I was going to do it.
Marth, good player.
He went Fox the first 2 games and lost miserably, and then he went to Marth.
Oh, was it best of 5?
It was really close. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole bracket was best of 5, which was interesting. We toyed with that European format.
I know. I see.
Yeah.
I don't know about best of 5 all bracket.
Yeah, I really encourage anybody that's thinking about it to go to Northwest Majors because it seems like that they're growing a pretty good scene out there. I showed up for a random tournament.
Oregon, right?
In Washington.
Oh, you went up to okay.
Yeah, I showed up to a random tournament there like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there were like 64 people at this local.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's good news. It's
Washington has a really big scene. I like every pretty much every local we get. You know, it could be the fact that we don't have tournaments as often as like Cali, for example, because they're monthlies. But it consistently gets like 60 plus, and
dude, all the regions are like that these days. Every region's getting 60 plus at locals.
That's true.
Almost every region.
But no, I think Northwest Majors is going to be a good tournament. Special guests include IB, which I think is really interesting. We actually just randomly hit IB up, and he was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. I'll go." And I was like, "Oh,
that was too easy." Like, you're actually going?
He doesn't even really like play anymore, but he's like, "Yeah, I'll go."
Skips Toronto locals, goes across the country to Northwest Manifest. Or
yeah.
I keep messing that up. Northwest Majors.
Northwest Majors. We also got NorCal's top players are all confirmed. SFED and Shroomed are going. It sounds like Pew Pew U and Homemade Waffles are going too, but I don't think they're confirmed yet.
Yo, can't forget about Violence, the homie.
And Violence.
Silent Violence.
And Violence.
The man who eats 3 tables worth of Korean barbecue just to save us from paying a penalty fee at the end.
I will go head to head with him in Korean barbecue.
Wait a minute! I made that mistake already. I already made that.
You are a scrawny Midwesterner.
Dude, no. When the chips are on the table and I'm hungry and we're at a Korean barbecue, well, I thought I could hang with anyone, but Eric Lee is another story.
I will do this. I will go toe to toe with Eric Lee.
If there's one man that will make statements like that, and I'm forced to believe them, it's Sheridan. So
I'm really glad that I have that reputation.
Yeah, it's not even really a reputation. It's just like that aura. Oh, you've got that aura where if you make a statement like that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we missed you at the Korean barbecue after next episode, day 1, Sheridan. It was who was it? Me, Tafo, Toph, Arian, and one other person at the high rollers table, right? We got the
high rollers table.
Yeah, dude, it's literally the high rollers table because we were willing to pay a little extra for the all you can eat for
easy table.
Yeah, more items.
Because more items, right? I was gonna say it was such an easy table to sit at because I saw those other tables where no one really knew what they were doing or how to order Korean barbecue or how to grill the meat, and I was sitting at this table with 4 very experienced Korean barbecue masters. So I was oh, this is easy. We're just getting all the dishes that are the good dishes, and they're being grilled before me, and there's always a steady influx of delicious meat. And then I turn around at Hack's Money's table, and they haven't even ordered their food yet. So.
Hey, but nobody tops Connor.
Oh Connor carried his table.
No. Listen, I was very clear. Because I remember we made an effort to get our food first, and Connor still beat us to it.
Oh,
and I don't remember there was one incident that night. There was one incident where I just remember Connor is like the Mango of Korean barbecue, right? Connor the kid. You know how Mango sees Melee in a different way than the rest of us. You know what? You watch Mango do something, and Mango will make a decision that made total sense to him, and it's he's a genius. Connor sees Korean barbecue in this you know what I mean? It's this dimension.
Yeah.
He's got the Korean barbecue subconsciousness flowing through him.
Right. Right.
So what advanced techniques are there in Korean barbecue?
If it was so easy to explain, you would be the next Connor already. It's not that easy to explain, right? I don't know.
I guess so.
He's just got at any given moment, Connor has the exact dish that he wants. Right? He's got. I don't know.
He knows all the combos.
The way he
knows the follow-ups.
He knows the follow-ups. The way he flips the meat, it's perfect. Everything's just
he knows the mix-ups.
Perfectly. Yeah, he knows the mix-ups. He knows all that.
He knows how to do the shield pressure on the waiter.
Yeah.
All right, we done here. It's been a good 110 minutes or so.
Yeah.
According to
it's been fun anyway.
Yeah.
Fun.
Glad Bobby's back, at least part-time. Hopefully we'll get him on for the whole show next time. Sorry to anyone who tuned in late and missed him, but yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and by then, NorCal Regionals will have happened, other stuff, and I think there's going to be a lot more news to talk about too. So, oh yeah, Dan, do you want to plug your Smash Lab next week? Is that still a thing?
Okay, yes. So we are going to have a return of Smash Lab. Previously, we've had Dr. PP, we've had Armada, Pew Pew U, And so next week, I'm more than likely going to get MacD, and he's going to talk about some teams concepts on next week on Thursday.
Sweet.
Yeah, guys, we got a lot of ideas for new content to go on this channel, so it's going to be hopefully a lot more than just the show in the next coming weeks. So keep an eye out for that.
All right, MIOM like content every Thursday.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
At least
it's a good thing.
All right, well, I think that's it for us. We've it's the end of the stream when we start talking about Korean barbecue metagames. So, all right, see you guys in next week, Tafo, and then 2 weeks for the rest of us. Peace.
That's right. Bye, everybody.